I'm Angella Sharpe, and welcome to the Daily Mix. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. You know, I almost always start the show by telling you how much fun I had on the weekend and seeing what you guys did on the weekend. I gotta tell you, the weekend's kind of blending together, because other than being here, I'm not really any other place because everything's still on hold for me. So it's a little bit different, but I got a great show for you guys today. I'm gonna tell you some things that we can go do outside with people, some things we can do virtually, and I've got a movie that you're gonna wanna watch. It's actually called We Are the Change. Watch, We Are the Change, and there's a lot to it, and we've got the man behind that movie coming up a little bit later in the show, so I think it's time to get started on today's Daily Mix. Guys, so our Cardinals, well, they've been in the news a lot, but probably not for what we hoped or wanted them to be in the news for. The Cardinals, as of today, so as of the day I'm recording the show, they have postponed their game against the Pirates. That means this season, the Cardinals have played 5 games, postponed 13. 10 players and 7 members of the Cardinals staff have all come down with COVID. So that's a total of a lot of people and a lot of things, which is just kind of crazy right now if you come to think of it. They really don't know how they're gonna get back on the right track. Hopefully everybody is healthy and well soon, just for their own well-being. 2 members were taken to the hospital, 1 player and 1 staff member, but they just spent time in the ER and then were able to go home. So hopefully that's okay, but there's just a lot going on with the Cardinals team right now, and it's all not great, but I have some good news. You guys know I love the cardboard cutouts, right? A lot of different teams are doing the cardboard cutouts of their fans in the stands, and I think it's adorable. Well, the Cardinals have revealed that they're gonna do cardboard cutouts for Cardinal Nation, which is pretty exciting. Now, obviously, there's no word yet on how you can be a part of the cardboard cutout or when they're gonna start appearing. We don't even know when the Cardinals will be back in action yet. So we'll have to, keep track of what's going on. Make sure you follow the Cardinals on social media. That way you can keep up with all the latest updates. Now, if you're looking for a way to get out and enjoy some art and theater, how about a late summer's night stroll through Forest Park with the St. Louis Shakespeare Festival? This free outdoor walking experience is loosely inspired by Shakespeare's A Midsummer Night's Dream, and it puts you in the center of the story of 4 lovers, their escape to an enchanted wood, and the magical night that follows. It's a 1.25-mile, socially distant, self-guided tour of Forest Park featuring hidden gems, custom art installations, and open-air performances. A late summer night stroll is happening every Tuesday through Sunday evening through September 6th. For more information, visit stlshakes.org. St. Louis has so many talented performers, and I have to congratulate the Herb Arts Youth Poetry Slam team. They won their 2nd championship in a row when they competed last month in the 23rd annual Brave New Voices International Youth Poetry Slam Festival. This year, the festival went virtual, hosting 12 teams from all over the country. To make the St. Louis team, the teens had to compete and participate in the Herb Arts St. Louis Youth Poetry Movement program. Herb Arts has been creating platforms for youth and community development since 2001. You can learn more about this nonprofit at herbarts.org. Another nonprofit you might want to check out is Run for Women. They recently opened their doors to give the community a sneak peek at their brand new campus located in Fox Park. Rung's mission is to help women who may be struggling or just barely surviving, and to provide them with the resources they need to thrive in their personal, professional lives. To do that, they've partnered with several of the best nonprofits throughout the region. They call them co-designers. Now, to offer everything from healthcare and social services to career building and childcare and so much more. Now, that's all under one roof. Now, in the coming months, they'll be recruiting their first round of members to participate in the Member Experience 101 program, which is set to begin early next year. You can learn more about Run for Women and the program by following them on social media and at runforwomen.org. It's a pretty impressive thing right there. They're trying to help other women, and I like how they've contributed to all sorts of aspects of the life, because there's a lot that goes into being a woman. I appreciate that. Now, I mentioned it at the top of the show, and I'm very excited about my guest today. He's a performer, a writer, director, producer, and he recently released an original short film that is really timely in this time. It's called W.A.T.Ch, which stands for We Are the Change. Take a look.
My daddy, may he rest in peace. He said they're like an infection.
He was stopping, man. Come on,
Sir, you need to step back.
man. That's my son.
I said you didn't care. You didn't care what he did or who he did it to. And this time, this one's on you.
Move and I'll shoot you. Get down on the floor.
Daddy, I really tried to do the best that I could for you.
God, hell, I am.
Oh my God, stop, please.
It's a setup. It's a setup. Got these kids thinking they can willing it through life without any consequence or repercussion. That's a lie.
Too much stuff out there saying that we're all the same, but we're not. So we have to assimilate sometimes, be scared and stuff just to survive, until we find that what's really necessary is for us to talk about it, so we all don't die.
You come here looking for trouble, boy?
He was a child.
My child.
Please be seated.
I didn't do enough, and that's the only guilt I'll carry.
Please be seated.
We've already won, we claim the victory. We won't fall for it.
I don't know, maybe this is our revolution, because I'm scared sometimes, and I don't want to be.
If it is really true, what they say, that we are to become the trouble of this world, then why need redemption at all?
Unit 5 en route, I'll be responding.
Young lady, it's time for you to go inside now.
I'm very excited now. I've been joined by my guest, Joel P.E. King, with the movie W.A.T.Ch. We Are the Change. I told you guys saw a little clip right before we did this. Joel, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, for real.
Okay, now we're gonna get in deep into this movie because I mean, there's a lot here. But first, I want you to tell me about yourself. Like, how did you get involved in movie making in general?
Okay, well, so I've been doing professional performance since 1998. But 2004 is when I actually got to film my first independent film, actually here in St. Louis. The casting was in St. Louis. It's called Pieces of a Dream. and they filmed it in Alton, Illinois. And I've always had like this thing, like, you know, I wanted to do it. And actually, but I started with stage plays. From the stage plays came like writing for TV, you know, different web series and things like that. And then it's like, okay, let me just take it a step further, and here come feature film. So I learned the format and just got into it.
All right, well, let's dive into this, because this movie, watch We Are the Change. I mean, there's so much here. So what inspired you to kind of come up with, why did you want to do this movie?
Okay, well, so in 2012, you know, the Trayvon Martin situation happened, and it was like, you know, this dark cloud that just came upon us, and a moment of reality on so many different sides of the spectrum. And I was just thinking just more for as far as being culturally in tune to what's happening. What it became was more of a hoodie movement and less of a movement of people. And so I was like, you know what, I want to figure out how can I gather like perspective and be able to put this before people. So it started off as a stage play and was called Stand Your Ground. And we premiered it at the Grandale Theater in 2012. And then after that, in 2014, a friend of mine who was trying to put together a short film. And I gave her that play as an opportunity, like, maybe we want to take this and put this as a short film. And so we started it, and then, but they pretty much stalled that particular project. So I said, okay, well, because I inserted myself, because I think this could really work as a feature film. You guys raising this money for this, let's go a little bit further. So then from that, I put pen to paper and started developing this thing into an actual feature film. And by this time, I think the Mike Brown story had occurred. So you have these two different dynamics as far as race relations, the idea of social injustice, and all these things. So I want to like create this little montage of perspectives, pretty much, and gather a real thought with real solution. How do we get there? You know, and we keep talking about you got to be the change that you see. Well, we have to be the change that we see. So from that, I developed the whole movie script. The movie script was like about 145 pages long. That's long. It is. And so then when I was pitching it to different investors, they were looking for like something more of 120 pages. And I'm like, but if I do this, I don't want to have like that rushed ending to where you can't really tell what's going on. So then from that, I created a series. So it's a 3-part series, really. And then series that was like, so we were getting it ready for like pitching purposes and all that. So, you know, you get your proof of concept. And then COVID happened. But what helped it is that we were able to at least catalog enough information that says like, let's just make this a short film right now, push this into the universe and just see what happens as far as like how it reaches people, how it touches people, and then we can start the campaign from there. So that's the whole long short story.
Well, I mean, this is very, I mean, this just fits our time, and I guess it's fit our time for years and years and years, but it feels like now is the time that maybe some change could happen. What are your ultimate goal with this movie?
You know, it's like what you said. I really wanted something that was very reflective of where we are. And the thing that's so crazy about the whole 3-part series is like, it takes you back, because there's a lot of information that's in the series is not apparently not in the short film, but it really gives you an opportunity to really collect thought like in a real way. And I want people to be able to, I think that's what's so important about right now, having the opportunity to collect true thought. Like we can no longer hide from the woes of the world. It's there, it's put in front of us. And really now it's really about us collecting thought and now putting some things into action. What do we really want to do? How do we really help heal these situations? What are the conversations that we're having and that we need to have so that we can really move beyond this? Because there is something on the other side of this. We just gotta trust that we can get to the other side.
Watching this movie makes you feel all sorts of different emotions. How are you able to capture all that?
You know, I'm a very sensitive, like this human, like the human experience. I'm very sensitive to it, and I work to not have any fear as far as what I want to display. What do I want to say? What I want to say, and so having all that made it just easy, you know. And then having friends who were in my ear and allowed me to like really like kind of dissect and figure out what these perspectives mean even to them. So it's like that film is one thing, but like that the 3-part series is like a whole nother like roller coaster. So I'm glad. I was inspired by Crash. I don't know if you remember that movie.
Yes, I do remember the movie Crash. Crash was so great because you saw all the different perspectives of what people were singing. Yeah.
Yeah, and it reached me back then. I said, you know, I don't even know. I think even back then I said one day I want to be able to create something of a similar, you know, essence that it speaks to you in the same way. And here we are.
And here we are. So now this 3-part, you're not done with the 3-part. That you're still kind of collecting investors for?
I'm collecting investors for, yes.
So let's do that right now. If somebody watched, you know, the trailer, they're going to go watch the film after we talk about it. How can they get in contact with you if maybe they're willing to invest?
Yes, please. Like all my Facebook, Instagram, my Twitter handlers, or just message me directly, joelpeking@gmail.com, or call me 213-321-2323.
And how can someone watch it?
You can catch it on YouTube. I believe it's W.A.T.Ch. Watch short film. That's what it's on YouTube.
And if somebody wants to follow along with you, Joel, how can they do that?
Go to my Instagram, Joel P.E. King, Facebook, Joel P.E. King, Twitter, JPEK1980, and also email me at joelpeking@gmail.com.
Well, Joel, thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully you'll get some investors out of people coming and watching this and wanting to continue with the 3-part series.
Thank you so much. I hope so. I really, really hope. Please, y'all, let's do it. The whole thing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me today, Joel. And after you go check out W.A.T.Ch, We Are the Change, make sure you follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You can drop us a line at The Daily Mix at stltv.net. We want to hear from you. That's going to do it for The Daily Mix. We keep it right here on STL TV and Experience St. Louis.